Good afternoon. I want to take you back to 2011. Hurricane Irene devastated the north side of Paterson and rendered the Northside Library out of commission. In fact, 11 years later, in 2022, it never reopened its doors. And that's unfortunate and unfair to the residents of Paterson. We've always made it a point to say that if we had an opportunity, we would bring back this building that has been fallow for far too long. In fact, it's become an eye magnet and an eyesore and a crime magnet. You've heard the expression that it takes a village. But not only takes a village, it takes a village with a vision. We have a leader who's a visionary here in the city of Paterson, who came to me when I first became mayor about 4 years ago and said, I have a vision. I'm going to bring back this building. I'm going to give this village what it needs. And now, as we try to turn the page on this pandemic, what we need is mental health services. What we need is family counseling. What we need is job development and placement. What we need are reentry services. And so this gentleman to my right, the visionary leader, is going to give this neighborhood what it needs. And we're bringing this building back new and improved, a community resource center in the city of Paterson, courtesy of Humble Beginnings, led by Akbar McEntyre. So without any further ado, the aforementioned visionary leader who's bringing this building back new and improved to address the neighborhood's needs, to address our village's needs, to address our community needs, Mr. Akbar McEntyre.
Oh wow! Wow!
Bring me everywhere you're going.
I've been worn out this weekend. We had a very tough weekend. Addressing community needs. Over the weekend, we passed out 500 and some odd turkeys to needy families in this community. And then on Sunday, we had our fifth annual pre-Thanksgiving dinner in the city of Paterson here at the Integrity Lodge. I had the privilege of approaching Mr. Michael Powell, who's the Economic Development Director, with this vision. And pulling all the different components together, the resources, and some of the backing to help me bring this project into fruition. And we approached the mayor's administration with this project, and from day one, he pretty much was on board because we made it clear to him under no circumstances will this project cost the city anything. So we found our resources, our developers, our friends, our investors, people who came together and decided that they will support my vision and collecting the data as it relates to the needs of the community. We felt the need to apply what is known as adaptive reuse to this building. Adaptive reuse is the process by which you take a building that was once a library and convert it into a resource center. Because a library is a resource center, but this resource center will be built on and predicated on the transition that the community incurred prior to the library closing. And prior to the library closing, this has to be highlighted, the people in this community didn't frequent this facility anyway because the programming that they had going on wasn't meeting the transition that the community was experiencing at the time as it relates to foreclosure on the houses, as it relates to the spike in crime, as it related to the spike in the unemployment rate, a neighborhood that has a 3-time unemployment rate greater than the overall city's unemployment rate. So the data supported the emergence of a resource center. And so my vision as a social worker and a licensed clinical alcohol and drug counselor and a job development specialist, human service is my craft. We established a community outreach component in the city of Paterson that allowed us to go inside the body of our community And the beautiful thing about this is that all of my team members are members from this community, members of a second chance, people that have experienced a second chance and have taken that second chance and came back into the community, aligning themselves with our mission and got involved with providing remedial services to members of our community. So one of the things I want to also highlight is that out of all the 55 years of me living in this town, that I've never experienced an administration that was more friendly in brokering relationships with local community-based organizations and giving them access to acquire real property like this one. It was an extreme tussle in our efforts to decide what the terms of the relationship would be. And some wanted a redevelopment agreement, which was contingent upon the city remaining the owner while we made the investment. I didn't think that that made sense. I and my team decided that we need to establish a cut and dry purchase and sale agreement, which places us in charge of the building, owner of the building, so that we can have access to the building and so that it can forever remain in the custody of the community. So a redevelopment agreement was established. Our legal team met with their legal team, and it came to the point that a purchase and sale agreement would make perfect sense for a project of this magnitude, because what it would do, it would give local community people the opportunity to develop their community, to build their community and address everything in their community. So our goal was and is to purchase this building, redevelop this building, which would eventually build our organization's capacity to serve the greater needs of the people. And as we grow old and retire and go into our heyday, we'll pass it down to the next generation of community leaders. That's the actual mission. The mission is to transform this community through an array of human services, helping individuals in our community to achieve their full potential as individuals, parents, and community members at large. And our vision is to build strong institutions that provide community members with the tools to solve their own problems. And I'm very happy and excited to be here. And since Monday's interview with News 12, it was beautiful because various organizations have reached out to us and are pledging their support, in-kind support. We got a call from a floor mechanic that specializes in the floors and linoleum tile. They're ready to commit their organization to revitalizing the floors in this property. We also got a steel company because we're looking to build a third floor mezzanine so that we'll utilize the height of this building, make use of the height, because it is a very tall building. And so we want to build a third floor mezzanine with office spaces as well as an elevator, making it handicap accessible so that people with handicaps can come inside the building and participate in the services. And we also got in contact with a company that want to supply the paint and all these other different things. This is just some of the basic things that we've been able to, the support we've been able to get since Monday's interview. And so without further ado, I just want to thank you all for having me today. And I'm looking forward to breaking ground. Any questions, any remarks that you would like to make, you can check us out on our website, or World Wide Web, and send us an email via web, via our website. And we can direct all our questions in reference to this project to our lead project manager, Mr. Fuad Issa. With that being said, I'm ready to move forward. And I also want to make it clear that everything that we're about to do at this building is going to be directed towards uplifting the members of this community. We have a component in place where we're looking to foster partnerships, and we're looking to do this real soon. This is one of the projects that we're looking to launch real soon, is a partnership with the Housing Authority and the Paterson Public School System in conjunction with recreation, because one of the things that we want to do is we want to launch a project that provide year-round recreation for our youth in this community. And so we want to partner with the Housing Authority for the use of the Christopher Hope Center, as well as School 28 and School 4, so that we can develop a partnership in a memorandum of understanding of how we can make use of these facilities so that we can provide year-round recreation for our youth. And all of that will fall under the Humble Beginnings Northside Action Network. And something that we are looking to get started before this building is even finished. So we want to launch that off. And so these are the partnerships and conversations that we've already been having with people that are prepared to come into this community and strengthen us in those particular areas of service. Thank you very much. Any questions?
I guess you were that thorough.
Nothing, Jim, Tony, anybody? Okay.
I want to add, and thank you, and I salute you for your visionary leadership. On the eve of Thanksgiving, it's not just the season of giving, but it's a season of service. And that's what Humble Beginnings, that's the purpose of Humble Beginnings. But again, 11 years, this has been fallow. Broken windows, an eyesore, a crime magnet. A few weeks ago, there was a shooting not too far from here. So I'm thinking about the positive potential that this project possesses and what it can do to transform a neighborhood and, more importantly, transform lives. Yeah. So we have instances where they've tried. I mean, we've boarded it up, so it's very difficult, but you'll see in the back they could. So if you want to take some footage there. Akbar, you want to elaborate?
There was an indication that there were squatters in the building, you know. But in terms of what the mayor is saying, as it being a crime magnet, not only is it a crime magnet, it is also a vessel for the exacerbation of mental health issues. When you live in a neighborhood where there's abandonment, pestilence, and blight, that renders a hopeless concept, a pervasive belief system of hopelessness in people that live here. And so they don't take. This is something that a building like this plays on the mentality of the people. Is a hopelessness that comes along with it. And when you're young, a child, and you're growing up in a neighborhood with all this blight and abandonment, you believe that don't nobody care about you. It's not safe. The likelihood of damage happening to is prevalent because there's no investment being made in your community, in addition to having to go to a school that is under ill invested in, and you don't have all of the necessary technology to educate you, and then you come outside of your school or outside of your house and there's a whole lot of abandonment and all this stuff going on in your community. But yes, there was an indication of squatters inside the building, because before we went in to clean up the building, there was like blankets and pillows on the side of the wall in this building. So yes, there was an indication that people were squatting in this building. Yes, it was. We should be getting the ball rolling for development in the spring. And with the rate of things, and I was just on the phone before getting here with my lead project manager, because he's got resources that were brought to the table, and different sponsors and different investors. And we have a body of board of directors that are bringing in all different kinds of investors. I'm looking forward. I'm more than confident that we can get this building done, up and running in record time. You know, I believe that. I have that level of confidence. I speak confidently because I believe in this vision, and I believe in the direction that it's headed in, and I believe in my sponsors. I believe in my team, and I just believe in God. I believe that what we deserve is what we strive for. You get what you strive for, and we put a lot of time and energy. I got members of my outreach team here, Mr. Greg Farrar, Mr. Tommy Kellum, brothers that align myself with us many years. We're all products of a second chance. We're all products of the city of Paterson. We all changed our lives around. We all have experience and relationships with the people on the ground in this city. And we are uniquely qualified to implement a program of this magnitude, and it'll be successful. I truly believe that. and I have confidence that this will be a beacon of hope in a dark place.
And to your question, Tony, think about like supply chain challenges. So he's going to move expeditiously because costs. Yeah.
Right.
Is it fair to say within a year?
Within a year.
Yes.
Within a year. I mean, and this is also with respect to zoning permits and all that kind of stuff. That's a process in and of itself. If we can expedite, get through all that red tape and zoning and all of that, we can get the steel people in here first and foremost and start laying the foundation for the upper deck mezzanine. All of these different investors are already solidified, ready to go. And it was because of the process. We was going through a process. When are you going to get it done? When is it going to make the deal? We ain't going to make the deal. And another thing, we want to get the closing going. We like to get that rolling too, Andre.
Yes, sir.
If we can get the closing tomorrow, let's close on this property.
In other words, hopefully we'll see you on Thanksgiving Eve next year for a ribbon cutting.
Takbir! Allahu Akbar!
I don't know if we can close. I mean, I signed my paperwork.
I signed my paperwork too.
We're done. Yes.
And
yes.
yes, the escrow company received their down payment. Everything is out, up and running. They got it, right?
That's right. That's right. So we're on our way.
Hear that? That's right.
Thank you.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Tony, you had it.
No.
Okay.
Any other questions? But I also want to let you know too, right? I want to also let you know that while we were here over the past few months cleaning out the backyard and painting over the graffiti, we got good reception from the community.
Yeah, you saw that right
The young brothers in this community came over and was very excited about what's about to happen here in this community. And not only that, they was trying to inquire about how can they get involved. Will I be able to get a job? Will I be able to do this? See, these are things that we know are voided in this community, and I know that we bring those kind of services to the community. We can change it. We can change it. It's our responsibility to do so, and we have to have a first-class approach to eradicating the problems that we know are very pervasive in this community. So, do you tell me you got a video of that? I might have a video. I might have a video somewhere,
Yeah, tell me.
and I'll send it to you. But I definitely got pictures. I definitely got pictures. Before it was nice, clean, shaven, like as you see it. It's a big old forest. You thought, you would thought Tarzan was back there somewhere. What? Yeah. For one, man, how do I say this? Tommy? I'm a product of a second chance. Second chance was afforded to me. I know that this community was due a second chance. And this is with respect to the impact that the war on drugs had on this neighborhood. Second chance was afforded to a lot of other neighborhoods, but it bypassed this one. One of the things that I know for a fact is that to this very day, as we stand here in this condition and this blight and all this other stuff that we witness, much of it stems from, residual impact of the war on drugs. Came in and ravaged this community, came in and ravaged the lives of the people that lived here in the housing projects and in this side of town and the housing projects on the other side of town. The war on drugs decimated this community. And so me coming here with a clear and well-rounded understanding of the issues that lend to the issues that we find in this community, becoming a social worker by default, and having to also experience a certain level of marginalization for being labeled a former convict myself, I felt the need to exercise and build something that I know would not only, be a model of advocacy for myself, but also an institution that would model an advocacy for the whole entire community. So my work here is born out of my personal experience and my ability to show empathy to what I know is happening to the community on a broad level. So this is what this is reflective of. So it's more like a selfless investment that I know is very much needed for this neighborhood.
Well said. What a way to punctuate it. Akbar gets his second chance. This building gets a second chance.